Hey everyone, welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. On my wrist today is a Thailand exclusive Seiko called the Sunshine Rainbow. It's a 4th gen monster. It's a really beautiful watch, a very loud watch. And in today's ramble, I'd like to admit some mistakes. I have been collecting watches for many years now, and I am not ashamed to say I like flipping watches. I like cycling through amazing pieces. It's a method of collecting that allows me to try more watches than I otherwise could if I did not flip. So I've been a big flipper for many years, and I've let go of some amazing watches. Sometimes I know it shocks some of you that watch my content regularly. You go, Bruce, why did you sell that watch? You loved that watch. And you're right, I did. But it's always been replaced by another watch that I'm equally, if not more excited to try, which eventually gets flipped into another watch. And it's just this lovely rinse and repeat. So I can try amazing watches and more than just try them on at the AD, but wear them around and have that on wrist everyday experience. So I've flipped some absolute studs like the Santos de Cartier or the Vacheron Constantin Overseas or a number of different Marine Masters or the black GMT Master 2 from Rolex, the original all black GMT Master 2. I've let go of some pretty amazing pieces. And sometimes I'm asked, do I ever regret selling, say, the Overseas or a really great base Panerai or whatever the case may be? And I can honestly say with most of them that no, I'm really happy I had the experience, but there was always another watch around the corner that I got super excited about. So for the most part, I don't regret the moves I've made, but I've made a top 3 list that I'm going to share with you right now of watches that I fully admit it was a mistake to sell this watch, and I regret it. I wish I still had these watches, and maybe if the right opportunity presents itself, I can put my money where my mouth is and try to fix those mistakes by rebuying and adding them back to the watch rotation, and hopefully this time, for keeps and not just as a temporary stay in the house of Bruce Williams. So coming in at number 3, this watch may surprise some of you because I'm generally not into vintage pieces. I've forayed into the segment of the market a little bit, but this is the Seiko 6139 Colonel Pogue that I bought, I want to say like 6, maybe 7 years ago. And this one I regret because you just don't find a Colonel Pogue in this type of condition very often. It was still obviously a decades old watch that had been worn and used, but it had pretty crisp case lines. It had not been refinished. The dial did not have gross patina. The loom actually was pretty tidy and clean. There was nothing about this that was refinished or redialed or repaired. It was all original. It had the original bracelet. It had the original crystal. Everything worked properly. It had been properly serviced, which is hard to do with sourcing some of those components for that in-house column wheel chronograph. And so I don't even remember what replaced it in the collection after I sold it, but I know I'll never see another Pogue in that type of condition at a reasonable price. I know these watches have become more collectible than they were 6 or 7 years ago when I bought that example. So I regret selling the Colonel Pogue. It was just such a clean example that I won't see again, or if I do, it won't be at the same price. So I admit that mistake fully. Now, I bought the Seiko reissue of the Solar Speed Timer in the Colonel Pogue color scheme just to kind of scratch that itch. And admittedly, it's just not the same as having the original Colonel Pogue. Yeah, even though I absolutely love this modern Solar Speed Timer, they nailed the color scheme, and I do wear it regularly. I miss the original. Now, coming in at number 2, this is a watch that every time I drop in some footage of it while I'm editing a video, when I'm talking about Zenith, it really hits me and I go, I wish that I still had this watch. And like with the Pogue, I don't even remember what replaced this in the collection. I just know it wasn't as cool as the Zenith Defy Classic 41 with the open work dial. So this has a dial that is integrated in with the movement, so you can see into the heartbeat. The silicone anodized escapement from the dial side, really the finishing, the attention to detail, the way that Zenith integrated their logo, the star, into the architecture of the dial and the movement. It's just such a pretty piece that has everything going on visually when it comes to the light play on the bracelet. Obviously, the dial and the movement integration, it just looked stunning in every situation, and it was technically impressive from a movement standpoint. So yes, that one I do miss, and I would love to have in the collection again at some point. I think it's better than the newer Defy Skyline open heart style of watch. I don't think that one is as architecturally impressive as the OG open work classic from Zenith. Now, coming in at number one, this is a watch that I know not everybody will get my love affair with. You think of Breitling and you think of Navitimer, you think of Super Ocean, you think of some various big blingy sporty watches. You're not necessarily thinking of something that's classy and refined and sophisticated and drop dead gorgeous, but that is what the Breitling Datura 42 is. It's a triple calendar moon phase chronograph with a salmon dial that just was as classy as can be, as beautiful and crisp as can be, large, lovely. I even bought the appropriate premier bracelet to pair with it because you guys know I am a big bracelet fan. So I admit I missed the Datura 42. It was just the most beautiful watch I think that I've ever owned. And I know you guys are going to come at me. You're not going to agree. You're going to say that the 42 is ugly. It looks like a Patek Philippe ripoff. But the design actually predates the salmon dial triple calendar moon phase that Patek Philippe came out with. So you could say arguably that Patek Philippe was the homage to the original Datura from Breitling. Now, this is one I did sell en route to my golden grail, the day date 40 from Rolex. So it was a financial sacrifice that I did have to make to justify buying a full gold day date from Rolex. In hindsight, I probably just should have waited and continued to save up so I did not have to flip the Datura. But part of me doesn't want to have too much invested in watches or tied up in watches because watches are not an investment, and it's not smart to have too much of your money placed in something silly like a watch, even if it is a gold Rolex or a beautiful, sophisticated Breitling. So in that sense, I agree with why I did it, but I still miss that Datura. And that's one watch that I definitely miss and regret selling. And so I'm curious, do you have similar experiences? Is there a watch from your past that you loved that you flipped for one reason or another and that you missed today? If so, please let me know which one or which multiple mistakes you've made. I'll read through every comment in this video, and I want to thank you for watching today. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more rambles and reviews and comparisons, please subscribe to my channel. I have a whole bunch of great content that I've been working on that I'm excited to share with you. Thanks.